Good morning and Merry Christmas. This is Carl Bogar with Historic Military Impressions for this week's Item of the Week. Coming in January, we will be doing a small exhibit of dress uniforms that are World War II or earlier. So today's item, it being Christmas week and all, is an item that belongs to what is ceremoniously been referred to as the Christmas Regiment. See, during the 7 Years' War, or more importantly, during our portion of the 7 Years' War, the French and Indian War, England called for the creation of 2 regiments of infantry to be founded here in the United States, or in the time, the colonies. So in 1855 Christmas, realistically it was a little bit after that, really more like 1755 Christmas, more realistically 1756, the 2 regiments that were created were either the 60th Regiment of Foot or the 62nd Royal American Regiment. In other words, they were American colonists that were creating an infantry regiment to fight in the French and Indian War to keep the colonies safe during what they referred in Europe as the 7 Years' War. They are more commonly referred to today as the King's Royal Rifles, or the King's Royal Rifle Corps as they became known later. And because of their belief of being created on Christmas of 1755, they're green with red highlights. I should look at the uniform. I'm more used to British uniforms being red at the time, but this one was actually green. This example is the 1902 pattern that was in service for enlisted members of the regiment from 1902 to 1913. In 1913, this red piping was removed. The things that I like about this uniform is that it's one of the earliest American units. Obviously, they fought 2 regiments fought during the French and Indian War. But then during the American War of Independence, the Revolutionary War, another 2 battalions were formed, creating a total of 4 battalions. And they actually fought in the territories that were today known as Florida, which we don't really talk about much during the American Revolution because obviously it wasn't one of the original colonies. So this example, it was, I believe, made in 1903, but as I'll show you in a moment, the stamp, I could see it was June, but I can't see the entire date of year. The War Department in the branch in Dublin accepted it into service, and then it became property of the Aldershot tattoo. The Aldershot tattoo was a, we think of tattoo shops today like, skin art. It was more of a celebration of British history, kind of like a reenactment of the height of British imperial power. The tattoo was created in 1922, so obviously it was still, after it was no longer in service in the military, it made it into their possession for these very large exhibits of military history that would happen periodically in June of each year. And the last year I could find a poster for them was 1934. So obviously, 1902 to 1913, roughly after that, it became basically a reenactment piece until possibly 1934. It came from a antiques vendor in Kentucky, and it is now part of our permanent collection, and it will be part of our upcoming exhibit on dress uniforms from World War II, and roughly it'll run from 1876 is we have an American artillery uniform that was from the Indian Wars period all the way through World War II. And then after that, we'll start switching things up as we move towards our hopeful March exhibit, Hiding in Plain Sight, the Full Integration History of Warfare exhibit that will be opening up here in March. So I hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you had a great 2022. Until next year, 2023, this is Carl Bogar with Historic Military Impressions. And as always, please like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you ever need any help with stuff, you know how to get a hold of us. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.